Hi everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we're going to do a day trip into Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park. It's just north of Peterborough. And while we do it, I'll tell you a little bit about the history and you can come along and enjoy the nature. Okay, so what route are we going to take today? Well, we're starting off on Raccoon Lake here, and this is where my family's cottage is. And we're going to start by paddling up to the 664-meter portage and just make our way into the park. We may go in 4 or 5 lakes, we'll see. Last time we did this in Thanksgiving, we got halfway to Shark Lake to check out this small cascade here marked on the map. It'd be cool to get farther here. I'd love to do a bigger trip at some point, but that's what our route is going to look like. So we're on our starting lake here, which is Raccoon Lake, and it is fairly developed in terms of cottages. Most of them were built in the 1950s and 60s after World War II. However, there was some tourism in this area ever since the late 1800s when people would come up for fishing trips and hunting trips, which is pretty cool. But as we go farther into the park, it does become less developed. There are some private properties that were there before the park was formed in what it is today. But for the most part, it's pretty wild, and I look forward to showing you that. So there are a lot of ways to flip a canoe, and it's kind of tricky here because we're on a slope. We could rotate it, and that may make it easier, but I'm just gonna give it a shot here. This is how I like to do it. Alright, thanks, Cam. First portage done, really buggy, but we just threw on some bug spray. We're on Little Turtle now, and upwards and onwards. Two, one, up. Yeah. Okay, so behind me is an enormous beaver dam between Sawmill Lake and Adams Lake. I'm not sure if you can really capture the breadth of it, but maybe it's, 20 meters long, and it's quite high as well. The drop in elevation of the water is quite staggering. So it's a really impressive piece of natural engineering here. Yeah. So to give you an idea of the change in water level, we've got the beaver pond here with the lodge down there. And if you come with me, you can see that as we walk downhill here on the portage, the water level is significantly lower on the other side. Now, depending on the time of year, the water level may be too low to canoe, but right now we're going to give it a shot today and see if we can canoe through this wetland instead of having to portage around it. So now we're on Sawmill Lake, and it's a good time to talk about the logging industry in the Kawartha area. So much of this park was logged at one point in time, which is kind of unfortunate. And today, if you look around, the trees aren't huge, and there's very few old growth trees left in the area. There are also logging roads across much of the park, especially in the northern areas, which you can see today. I'll put a map up on screen and link it down in the description. I've also read that there's some evidence of old logging dams as well as channelization along the Mississauga River, and that would have been used to float logs downstream to where they can be shipped off. So I'm standing here at the portage from Sawmill Lake to Shark Lake, and I'm standing on an outcropping of the Canadian Shield, which is this giant continuous rock that covers much of Ontario, Manitoba, and Quebec. It used to be mountains actually that were eroded away over millions and millions of years, which is pretty interesting. Now it's composed mostly of granite in this area, though there are portions made of gneiss, which is similar but with stripes. So we just got out of the Shark Lake portage and we paddled up into the middle of the lake a bit, and we've decided just to have lunch on the water to avoid the bugs. But it's quite a beautiful lake. I haven't seen any cottages as of yet, and consulting the map, I don't think there are any. So that's really special, in cottage country especially. So yeah. Thanks for coming along on the trip. We went for a swim here on Shark Lake, but we figured we'll turn around and head home. So thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you another time.